All right, let's jump into the show here. I have with me a very, very special group of guests hailing all the way from the other side of the country. I have the group known as The Frequency Within, which is Erica, Jenna, John, and Ollie. Thank you guys for joining me here on the Part-Time Artist Podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Now, maybe collectively now are we all from LA? The band is based out of the LA area. Cool. So for those of us that have never been to LA or only know what we see in movies or music videos or TV shows or whatever, what is one thing, maybe collectively, or if you guys have a difference of opinion, what's one thing you think people should know about Los Angeles?
Dang.
There's a lot of people here. Like a lot.
Yeah, the movies aren't lying about that part.
It's dirty.
It's dirty.
No, but yeah, the one thing, there's musicians from here, musicians that have moved here.
Right.
Actors, just everybody's here from everywhere.
There's a close community that everybody knows everybody, especially in the music scene and screenwriters. It's definitely a
models, photographers.
Yeah, it's a place to be. So we're lucky to be here.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of artistic people. And now the show is called the Part-Time Artist Podcast. And I feel like there's probably a lot of part-time artist podcasts in LA. Do you feel like LA is artistic holistically in that way? Or do you feel like this is kind of, because there's so much industry around the creativeness, do you feel like that's where artists kind of lose their artistry? Do they sell their souls? Do they see like I don't know, does it feel like LA has the inspiring creative energy, or does it feel like it's more soul sucking in that way?
I mean, from my point of view, I think we're getting it from both sides of the coin here. Like LA has this really like you said, music business tapestry built already into it, very corporate. So you got that side, but there is an underground scene of artists as well that are upholding that's the foundation of it.
Okay.
So I feel like, yes, it could be soul sucking, and you could sell your soul for that corporate piece of it, but you can go on the other side and be happy and still make money being in the underground and being an independent musician. I mean, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely see it being a bit of both.
Bit of both, yeah. As somebody, like, I grew up in New York City and in the New York scene, and there is a lot of carryover between the New York scene and the LA scene. And I'm going to even shout out my friend Joey Steele, who proclaimed on social media, he's like, I am done with New York. I need to step away from this place. I'm going to go to LA for a month. And oh my God, I'm even wearing your shirt as I'm talking about it. Shout out to Joey Steele. Nice. And the Dispatches from the Underground. Pretty much his podcast made me want to do a podcast, so I got to shout him out. Nice. Now, y'all have been a band since around 2016, I would say, right? We were forming and we put stuff out, probably even earlier than that. How does being in a band today compare to back then? It's almost like a pre-COVID versus post-COVID artist lifestyle, huh?
Well, yes, I always say, like, especially like these days, the music industry is forever evolving, it's forever changing, but once like COVID hit, it really like sped things up. I mean, me and Jenna were discussing that when COVID happened, that everything was immediately just online. And I feel like because of that, it stayed that way. So you just had to evolve with the industry.
Wow. Yeah, it does feel like there's a lot of aspects that, like, post-COVID, that we thought were going to resolve or go back, and they kind of didn't. It just kind of like COVID just changed everything, and it's like, oh, we're like, it's just like this now, you know. Now there's gonna be, well, I don't know if they have these in LA, but like now there's no more snow days. You know, now it's just going to be in-person school or online school. I was like, wow, that's going to be a permanent
I think what happened is we found things that we liked, and we kept them. You know? Some things work better than others, and we were kind of like forced to learn these new ways.
Yeah.
And like you said, you know, online stuff, there's times where we can't all get together and meet up, but you know, we have Zoom meetings because we got used to that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I think we're all just so much more dependent on technology now, more than ever because of that, but that's a whole separate conversation. I wanted to talk to you guys also, before we get into your first tune here, going through your website and your music videos and even your tunes, and I'm sure your live shows will also attest to this, you guys seem like you're just having fun. And the fact that y'all are all for, you know, coming on the show, you wanted to be together, like, it feels like there's this unity between y'all. And sometimes, well, actually, most of the time, within bands and creative, you know, partnerships or whatever, there's usually, you know, strengths and weaknesses to people, and there's usually like leadership and some people that will step up in some way. But I look at you guys and what we're doing now, and it just seems like you guys are kind of all in. Do you feel like that's like the band dynamic? Do you feel like that's your recipe for success? How much of your band is just like, you guys look at each other and you're all on the same page, like you want this band to do well and you want to have as much fun as possible?
I think what helps is we, first and foremost, we're all friends. So having friendship in the band is very important. You know, we're all family essentially.
Right.
That's the glue that keeps us together. And then on top of that, now we're start building like a pizza.
That's a good one.
I'm a little hungry.
Yes.
And the cheese now, you know, or the sauce. The sauce is the love for music. Is regarding to that, John? He's new. Excuse him. The sauce.
I'm still hung up on the fact that I heard sauce. I'm like, wait a minute, that's an East Coast accent coming out here, and you guys picked pizza, not burrito. Somebody is from New York or something. We have a transplant in here.
We've been found out.
So the love for music as well, you know, but then now the toppings, which is, hey, this is also a business.
Yeah.
So I think that's also important. We treat it as such, like, hey, the way that we go to work is the same way that we come here. And you know, it is hard to have work-life balance. It's difficult. It's really hard right now. Yeah. But we do our best to stick to it and have time. And just to highlight on, you know, you talked about leadership.
Yeah.
We all have roles in like different departments.
Wow.
You know, we have Jenna who does the booking and does the promotional stuff, you know, all that fun stuff. We have John who, you know, is her assistant. And then and then I like do my best to help with marketing, and same with Ollie, and we kind of all just throw everything in and we all help each other the best to our ability. Yeah. And if one of us is lacking, well, we're close enough to where we call each other out. We're not afraid to do that. And we get butt hurt and get all feelings hurt, but hey, we're able to recover because friendship, we have our friendship, family. We have our
it's coming from a good spot.
Coming from a good place. If you a true friendship, yes, has boundaries, but a real friend will call you out on your BS, and that's a really good thing to have in friends.
Wow. Yeah. That's hitting the nail on the head. I'm sure that a lot of people either wish they were in a situation like that or want to, or are just right there with you, like nodding their heads. Let's talk about the new single, which is Cursed. What can you tell us before we jump into this tune here?
So I love Cursed.
Right.
Jenna brought the riff, right? Jenna brought the riff, and I remember listening to it. And the band came together. I don't think I was there for a practice or something, but they came together. They threw it on a demo. I listened to it at home, and I fell in love immediately. I was like, oh my gosh, this is hard hitting. I wasn't sure what to write about. So I remember sitting there, closing my eyes, and I'm like, what does this make me feel? And I thought, oh my gosh, this makes me think of breaking generational curses.
Wow.
So I started going for it. And in that lyrically, you can hear that. It's telling the story of elders in the past and how this new generation, especially, is breaking generational curses. So there's pieces of that in there, there's pieces of family history. Wow. Yeah, that's Cursed in a nutshell.
Wow, there you go. Jenna brought the dough, and then we made the pizza. Let's check it out. This is Cursed.
into the mirror. Do you see me too? I look into the mirror. I see a version of you. Forever good. I'm wearing these chains. Forever good. Never make it. Forever good. I'm wearing gold chains. And you're to blame.
All right, that tune is called Cursed, and it is the latest single from The Frequency Within, and I will be posting links to their music. I have a sad face that I don't have much of a band camp, but I'll forgive you guys, and we'll put we'll put the desired choice of streaming service or whatever. Now, you guys are you've been in this pattern or a rhythm of slowly releasing like singles, like one after the other. Is this like, are y'all gearing up for an LP release, or do you guys just like, you're putting out a single and then you're like using that to prioritize playing shows, and just trying to use that as momentum?
Erica really wants to finish writing the album.
I'm on release now.
And put all these on the album. For us though, post-COVID, we just wanted to get new music out.
Sure.
And didn't want to like invest in a whole album right off the bat because things changed so much. And so we just started since then releasing singles, and then eventually we'll be putting together the album.
Yeah, like it seems, the social media gurus and the people that love to talk about the music business and give advice and say what bands should be doing, what they shouldn't be doing. The music video is dead, just come up with the Instagram ad or whatever. It seems like a big common theme is that if people's attention spans were short before, they are microscopic now. So the single has seemed to be like, and it's so interesting because it's going back to like when 45s were a thing and people would just want to go to the store to get the new fucking whatever song, but they would go out and buy the song. So it was a different industry, and now it's like people just want to hear even the part that's in the TikTok video. We don't even want the full song. So it seems like the singles are the way to go. Now, with preparing for an LP, do you have like a strategy or an anxiety about it, or are you just like, I want to be done mixing these songs so they're gonna go out there all at once?
I mean,
well, like LPs, I think should tell a story.
Yeah,
sure.
It should just be one big story, and I think that's what where we're at right now.
Writing the story, or the concept with it. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
Now, go ahead.
Oh, you're talking about anxiety? I mean,
this is a therapy.
Boy, do I know anxiety when it comes to songwriting. I would say, I mean, the anxiety with coming out with an LP is how will people perceive it? And I'm a control freak, and I love to control things as much as possible. But once that's released and out there into the world, our child, I don't know how it's going to do, especially in this new generation, in this new day and age. And, touching on certain topics of, like I said, like generational curses and stuff like that, like I'm unsure how it'll be perceived. So that's what scares me. That's my anxiety.
Sure. With that, I would highly encourage y'all, if you haven't already, to invest in some Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin's, who is a producer for like the Chili Peppers, Jay-Z, like a whole bunch of people. And so Rick Rubin talks about how the audience comes last, if they come at all, in the artistic process. And he seems to think like, because he's worked with a lot of artists that would get hung up on like not sure if something is going to be good or bad, and he's a very grounding presence with artists, and I think that's why he's been involved in so many projects. So I would highly, highly recommend listening, or if you're like me, I usually just keep this right next to me, and this is my Rick Rubin book every once in a while. He's finally on social Instagram now, just reading his book basically for Instagram posts. Anyway, y'all were on a summer tour which is when we were kind of first starting to talk. That was a 2-week tour, and this seems to be now post-COVID the sweet spot for doing a run of shows is the 2-week tour. Was that your experience? I kind of want to let's hear from John on this one since he's new, and I guess he's going to be like new to playing shows. How was the 2-week tour for you?
So this is the second time that we've done the 2-week tour. So for me, it was a bit of a shocker the first round. This one is definitely a lot more like I knew what to expect. I knew things to bring. I knew, you know, the lifestyle kind of it is. You know, we did some camping during that time, so it was just kind of like it was like we're gonna run off coffee. I was kind of like, don't waste energy on things that you don't need to do. You can't. You see people, getting wasted and stuff like that. Not us, from other bands and stuff like that. You're like, all right, well, tomorrow I gotta drive 8 hours, and then I gotta drop off our stuff, build a campsite, go play a show, come back at 2 a.m., wake up at 6:30. Yeah.
Wow.
Unpack, do it, jump into the car for another 6 to 8 hours and stuff like that. So a lot of it is, and thanks to Jenna, a lot of it is strategically planned out.
Sure.
So you just want to kind of, it's always keep a level head. We're gonna have fun no matter where we are. If the show gets canceled, if there's people there to see us, if there's not too many people as we expected, we're always
gonna. It gets rained out.
It gets rained out and stuff like that. There's challenges. Nobody wants.
Wow.
It's never gonna go as planned. It's just like any show you ever throw. It's never gonna go as planned. But that's the fun about it. It's literally a journey to it. You get to see all these places and stuff like that. So,
wow.
Doing the 2 weeks, everybody's gonna be traveling for summertime, and so no matter where you go, you're always gonna have a good crowd.
Sure.
And we never experienced like horrible people.
No.
Wow. Lucky. I mean, it's all sunshine over there, right? In the California sun. The camping gear is cool. The East Coast, I haven't really heard of people. I mean, people would just crash in their car here. The East Coast, it feels like the camping part, like bands are very, I think, nervous to do that over here. Did you guys do like we pack 1 week of clothes and then we go to the laundromat at the end of the week? Or did we pack 2 weeks?
I don't think we ever bring a ton of clothes. I think we told John in advance, like, you're bringing one bag.
Yep. Yeah. One bag.
And
one bag rule.
One bag.
Yeah. I'm a guy. I only travel with one bag. I just need extra t-shirts. That's it. And one pair of pants.
Right. Yeah. I would also I would throw my this is so disgusting, guys. I had to learn, but I would throw in my head I was like, oh, I'll just put my show clothes in a plastic bag and just wear, and I'll change it.
Oh no.
And not only that, I kept my shoes in there with them. That was a fun tour. Gets gnarly. But with that tour and with the shows and the momentum and the singles, what do you feel like is the top priority for you guys as of right now? Do you feel like it's more worthwhile to build a scene around California? I mean, I know there are bands like, shout out to Jump Rope and all the bands in Texas, Updog. They came on the show and they would talk about like they live in such a big state that they're like, yeah, we can just tour this state and try to organically grow here. Do you guys feel like it's better to do like that, or do you guys feel like it's better to even build it up within LA?
I mean, for us financially, the West Coast is super expensive,
right?
As far as gas goes, so it's always cheaper to go east and come back, and like for us to take more days to go out east, because it's you totally save money on gas.
And how far east would you say? Like within Cali?
Well, no, because in the summer we went as far as Nebraska.
Holy shit. Wow.
So that's why our drives were so long, because that one got added last minute. They're like, hey, can you make this work? And he did.
We don't have to sleep.
So when you guys were going that far out, was it kind of like, let's see which scene responds to us the best, or was it just kind of like we got a show here, let's just play it?
Yeah, we've been a lot of places already, so we'll always hit somewhere we've been before, and then try to go somewhere new also. So just sprinkle in a few new places,
right,
so that we kind of know some people or areas, and then also introduce ourselves to new
Because
places.
a lot of it is just try to get the music out to people that haven't heard of us or haven't, because going back to what we said with the LA scene, there is so much going on in LA.
Yeah, every night, even tonight, it's a Monday.
Oh yeah, there's always so much that there's like Eric said, it's a closed group. So the best thing at the moment, as what I see, is to expand outside of it, and then we'll kind of like close back into LA area.
Infiltrate it. We have to infiltrate our own home front.
Yeah, because we play locally, but like locally for us is like even 2 hours away. Like
wow.
Yeah.
Like I would still say Vegas, Nevada, or like Arizona. It's still like a one-day trip for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do that on the weekend or something.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, because I knew, like, when I was living in New York, there were so many bands, and almost none of them left New York. They were just like, New York is so big, like, you know, we could play a show every 2 weeks or every 3 weeks, like, and not a lot of, I don't think a lot of bands in New York even had like their own gear. Like I knew some chick who was like a bass player for 10 years and never had an amp because there was always one at the gig or at the practice space. And New Yorkers don't really own cars. But here in Philly, it's like, Philly is such a great jump off point to the East Coast, to go north, to go west, to go south. But yet a lot of bands they want to stay here, where in New York, it felt like you were trapped because to get a car and to do the whole thing and get outside of the city was such an effort that it was kind of like you were resigned to just play there. But in Philly, it's like people just want to keep playing the house shows and to keep playing the small venues because the folks that go to the show, they come back. So like there is a real semblance of growing within the city. But it can only, of course, it only gets you so far. I want to ask too, with this last run and how far y'all went, do you feel like there was one moment or one highlight that stood out, or something that was like, oh wow, I did not expect that to happen? Good or bad?
The one.
So Erica snores. No.
John, don't like that.
Oh no!
Cut that one out.
Oh, cut that.
What the heck? You tell people that we're Crocs? Oh
my gosh.
That was on you. I want that on the record.
She's wearing Vans right now.
Put that on the Wikipedia, please.
Dude, I had to find out the hard way that the drummer in my band, he wears the face mask, he puts in the earplugs, and then he snores. So it's just like, dude, you have no idea what's going on around you.
That's just class. Hey, if we're gonna die, I don't want to feel nothing.
And of course, it's the drummer, so like, you know, he's deaf already. Anyway, let's jump into this next tune here, because this is one that I really love, and it has a really, really rad music video. This tune is called Pieces. Check it out.
Find the pieces in those pathways we shared. I know
All right, that tune was called Pieces, and like I said, there's a really rad music video to that, and it really reminded me, tell me if this is true, because I know y'all are from LA, but it reminded me back in the day of the Danny, California Red Hot Chili Peppers video. Was that the inspiration?
You know what? That's funny. I didn't even think about that, like, while we were making it.
Yeah.
But I can see that. I can actually see that now. Yeah, there is a connection. We were kind of going for that comedic kind of thing, weren't we?
For sure.
I was poking fun in the lyrics, and we all wanted to poke fun in the music video as well.
Yeah, like, it feels like that era, the early 2000s, and those of us that grew up in that era, now that we became like our own artists, we can't help but have some of these influences come out, even if they were not like directly like, oh, I want to be a band like, you know, like the Chili Peppers. It's like you can still see those music videos would be all over TV when they would come out. Couldn't avoid them. You know, you couldn't avoid seeing Gerard Way or, you know, Motion City Soundtrack or all of those scene bands that came out. Now, also, I think this was kind of interesting that that I wanted to know like what the inspiration was to that video, but at the same time, the whole video is about trying these different inspired ideas. Oh, the irony is really interesting. Anyway, with what's going on now with being a band, you know, with Spotify, with YouTube, with social media, likes, followers, this and that, what's the most exciting part of playing music right now? What is like doing it for you guys where you're like, yeah, I want to keep doing this?
For me is watching all of us, like you said, like grow into artists. I'm seeing a maturity. Wow. I'm seeing a finesse really come out of us now that we're like, I mean, we've been writing together for years. So wow. I'm seeing like diamonds coming out from all the pressure, and just we're all living, you know, separate lives, and it's really starting to show itself now. So for me, it keeps me going because I can't even imagine what we're going to be in the next couple of years. It's exciting. It's like watching a child grow. So I get to watch Frequency grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that for sure.
A lot of it is just being creative. You know, we've all kind of, in our own ways, you know, grown up to be a little artistic and stuff like that, you know, with our instruments and different instruments too. Not just, you know, she doesn't just play guitar, I don't just play drums, all just, you know, everything like that. So it's just being able to have the freedom and be encouraged by one another, and like she said, grow into better artists. But it's not for other people, it's for ourselves. We just like being creative people.
Yeah, that's holding on to that aspect is everything. And yeah, that's what made me over the past year like totally change my platform around, totally like tell myself that I was going to do, you know, I was going to be creative any way that I could, and keeping the podcast alive, keeping my blog alive, and expanding into YouTube and all these other things outside of music, and then getting back together with my bands and putting out an album and all that other shit. It's like, I really, like, there's so much about life now that takes us out of the creative identity if we let it. And the self-awareness that we need to be able to stay creative is more important now than ever. And with that being said, I also wanted to ask, on a personal level, what is one thing that each of you are working on as a person? So what's one thing that you are like working on yourself with?
Let's go this way.
Yeah.
Well, I'm perfect, so I don't really.
Oh my God! Never mind.
I agree.
Thank you,
I
John.
agree.
Thank you.
So you're working on your perfection.
No. I'm
gonna slap you.
Maintaining that perfect
I'm
beard.
a diamond. Let me shine.
And the rough.
No, as far as like myself, I just like to grow in more ways than just music. I'm doing stuff with like video editing.
Wow.
I maybe some CG stuff, some 3D designs coming out soon. Wow. I don't want to give that away too much, but there's something that I'm working on for Frequency Within that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
But yeah, just constantly growing in more than one way.
Yeah, and balancing it all, I'm sure. Yeah.
Trying to balance it all.
Yeah.
I went back to school. I'm graduating this semester, and I'm on a path to get a bachelor's in fine arts with the concentration in photography. So that's what I'm doing, like, individually for my growth.
I mean, college is one thing, but art school, whew.
Oh, I'm gonna get ripped apart. I'm ready.
Yeah, art school is another.
The way I look at it is, it's easy for me to go to art school and they can critique my photos all they want because it's not going to hurt my feelings. I went to school for music and they critiqued the shit out of my music and that hurt my feelings. So that's why I switched. Music's in my heart, you know?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that. It's definitely easier to. Yeah, because my dad went to art school and he was and for a while he was trying to get me to go to art school for that reason, to take criticism, because my dad would tell me, he was like, I would go to a class and there would be 30 people and then by the end of the month it would be like 10 because people would just like they couldn't handle it. They couldn't manage themselves or their feelings or whatever. It's and they don't really train us to do that, to be honest.
No.
Weird. I think in art though, in like doing like drawing and painting and stuff, that's part of the class. Yeah. Every class from the very beginning is like, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? What did I do well? Of every single piece that you do. And I don't think they do enough of that in like the beginning parts of music.
And that's like, what's wrong with this generation. Yeah, you guys don't know how to take
music is like
just kidding.
It's really like math.
But art is so subjective, and you know, it's the beauty's in the eye of the beholder.
Sure.
You know, you can go look at, you know, Picasso paintings and people nowadays are gonna be like, what the hell is that? Like, I don't understand art in that way. I would be like, okay, I'm in a museum, I don't get this, so I'm just gonna stare, nod, and next. Okay.
What are you working on?
Yeah, what are you working on within yourself?
Within myself,
besides your attitude,
my comedy act, you know, I'll be right next to Bill Burr.
All right, I'm gonna start booking you to open up.
Oh no, don't add. Don't give him confidence with that.
Oh boy. And he's already behind the kit, so you know he's gonna do that badum tiss all the time. Badum tiss. I swear to God,
somebody drops something.
When I hear that, I just want to walk over and kick the drum. Like, stop doing that. No more.
Jumps are made for kicking. Working on myself, I don't know. Just I kind of getting a little bit into that business aspect of the music business as well. So that's why I kind of ask questions, you know, with Jenna, because she knows everything pretty much at the moment. You know, there's always something new to learn and stuff like that. And then just like getting a little bit better with my instrument. You know, I'm never going to be Travis Barker. I'm never going to be, you know, I don't expect to be one of the greats, but that doesn't mean I can't try to make myself as great as I can.
Yeah. The Mamba mentality. Being the best you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it. That's the growth. And I think that's what, like, pretty much all you guys, you know, I think that's the theme for you guys, is like being in that growth mindset. And I think that that's really powerful. And like I said in the very beginning, like, it feels like you guys are on the same page with the energy of the coming together as one, and then also like kind of individually in your own right. And I think there's some kind of quote where it said like the person who loves walking will travel further than the person who is walking to be at a destination or something like that.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that we all definitely enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Just that's why you see us having fun all the time, because we try to have fun every day, no matter if we're just driving in the car for a million hours through nowhere with no internet, or if we're on stage, playing the best show of our lives, like,
or
every
the worst show.
Yeah, or the worst show.
Yeah,
I feel like the worst show would be even more fun, but
yeah, we'll have fun with bad shows too.
Yeah, that's definitely something y'all need to work on, is your internet connection. That's an inside joke.
I think that's a studio problem. What?
Or an LA thing. There's just so many people using the internet.
Yeah.
All at once.
It's because Spectrum, you know what?
Yeah,
really Spectrum is actually the worst. Shout out to Spectrum.
We don't endorse it.
For being the worst thing.
No, I don't want your mobile service. You can't even get your internet right.
Well.
Now we got what do we got coming up? We got some Christmas shows.
Wait, you gotta plug it
coming up.
Yeah.
And some shows in February possibly. What is on the horizon for you guys?
So we have a show in December on the 8th at the Sardine in San Pedro. That's gonna be our freaking Christmas party. We're gonna have a photo booth. It's gonna be super fun.
Wow.
And we have a couple more shows. No, one more show in December.
One more at the end.
In Anaheim. Oh yeah, that's for the OCML 10-year anniversary. It's this promoter that's been around in Orange County for 10 years.
Wow.
That we've been playing shows with them since we were a different band. And then we play another show in January. It's not announced yet, but it's at DBA 256 in Pomona, which will also be super fun. That's kind of like one of the venues we play. I don't want to say we play there the most.
Not the most, but it's definitely one of our like home locations.
Yeah.
Wow. So shout out to that spot for all you California people listening. Definitely jump into that. It's verified by the Frequency Within. And you also want to go to frequencywithin.com to see all the dates. They got a blog. They got just a really, really cool website. So if you want to see how it's done, go to frequency.com or frequencywithin.com. And with that, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so stoked to see when the album comes out. And this last tune you can get on Bandcamp, I think. This tune this tune is called The Ghost We Carry. Rip on, everybody.
from a nightmare to a different through the darkness, filled with desert trails. Out comes the blinding light. Is this my saving grace or new hell?